Alright, what is up everybody? So we are back at the Pawn to King series. I have gotten a couple requests to show my ID so people can follow me. This is on the NA server. So my ID is M94PBG. So if you'd like to go ahead and follow me in-game, you are more than welcome to do that. Alright, we are going to queue up and get started on the next episode of the series. And in this episode, I think the topic that I would like to focus on is going to be scouting and looking at what your opponents are doing and how that might influence your decisions in game as you play along. Ooh, Vincent 2. Okay. So, scouting doesn't really take place for the first couple rounds. I'm gonna lock this. Scouting doesn't really take place for the first couple rounds, because people tend to change their comps a lot in these early rounds. One thing you might want to do though for this round is look at the board and see what units everybody got and make sure you just have a different unit. So if I saw, for example, 4 people with the Tusk Champion, it would have been a bad decision for me to take that Tusk Champion. But 2 people with that unit is not a big deal. The most useful things to look for are looking for like how many people go Divinity. I think that's probably the only thing really that you'd want to be looking for, or people who are close to a 2-star. Like this guy's got 2 Agursus Rangers, so he could be 2-starring that soon. And I have 2 Tusk Champions, so I'll be close to 2-starring that soon. So 2 Tusk Champions, this guy's got Warriors. These do not synergize together. This guy's got Warriors, 2 Agursus, these do not synergize. This guy's got a couple Glacier, and these do not synergize. So, here, what I'm looking for is what synergy people are starting to build towards. I don't really have a great decision here, so I think I'm just going to take the strongest unit available to me, which is this Wind Ranger here, and throw the Wind Ranger in. But now we can start looking and seeing that yes, this guy did manage to 2-star his Agursus Ranger. So he's actually already got a fairly strong team, and he's going to probably start win streaking early on. This guy's got a 2-star Red Axe Chief. So we can start to see the direction that people are starting to go. So this guy's building Warriors. These 2 players don't really have any sort of synergies going on yet. Druid is useful simply from the standpoint of getting 3-star units quickly, but it's not as useful from the standpoint of having strong synergies to strengthen your team. So based on what I see here, I don't really see anybody going for Hunters, so I might start buying Hunters. Also, this Thunder Spirit could be useful because I also don't see what looks like anybody going some sort of Divinity Mage build. So when it comes to scouting, a couple things that are really useful to know are being able to look at the icon for a unit and tell what it is. So like this one that I'm hovering below. If you don't recognize that as a Taboo Witcher, then you probably need to do a little bit more time looking at those icons and trying to be able to identify them from memory rather than from having to hover over them and see what they are. I'm going to go ahead and get a little stronger just by adding the Warrior synergy in here, and I actually think having that Spirit synergy could be pretty nice. So now people have a couple more units so we can see more likely what direction they're thinking about going. In these lower levels, you don't really see people transition very much, I feel, so it's pretty easy to pin people on what their build is pretty early on. So I see a lot of Warriors. One of them is me, actually, so I shouldn't say a lot, but I see Beasts, I see Warriors, but what I don't see is any sort of Divinity build. So it's looking like Divinity might be good because there will be less competition for those pieces for me. So it's more likely I will find the pieces I want. The reason that is because there is one giant champion pool that everybody shares. It's not that, and I think I am going to go ahead and go towards Divinity. I'm finding 2 Thunder Spirits already, which Thunder Spirit's probably the most important unit for the Divinity build. So I think I am going to start going in that direction. Here at this round, if I win, I'll get up to 9 gold. I really do want to hit 10 gold and get that interest gold. I know my Tusk Champion is a pair, but I'm just going to lose this round. I don't want to sell the Heaven Bombers because I could use them as a stand-in in my Divinity build, so I'm actually just gonna sit here and lose this interest. But as I was saying, there is one champion pool that everybody shares. So if I am looking for a specific champion, let's say I'm looking for Thunder Spirit, I can see how many other people have Thunder Spirits. The more other people have, the fewer there are left in the pool for me to get. So the odds of me getting that particular piece go down. So when you're scouting, one of the main things you're doing is just looking for builds that don't have a lot of competition. You're just looking for builds that people are not trying to take your pieces from you. Round 7, I am losing a bit. Am I on a lose streak? I am not on a lose streak. I'm going to go ahead and level and just throw this in. Just want to stabilize my health pool a little bit here. But primarily one of the things you're looking for when you're scouting is trying to go builds that other people are not going for. Because you have less competition for your pieces, and it's more likely that you will be able to find the pieces that you're looking for. So that's why I'm choosing to go Divinity right now. Now with that, you have to know your compositions in order to make the most usage out of that. It's also good to understand the meta to know what builds are strongest that people are tending to play. But in these lower levels, in the Pawn, Knight, Bishop range, I think just settling on something that other people aren't going is going to be extremely beneficial. And I actually don't have the Divinity buff yet, so I think I'm going to do what may seem like a suboptimal play, but I think it's going to help, is I'm going to throw in the Beast and the Warrior synergies here. So this is nothing like what my final build is going to look like. But I feel like it gives me a pretty strong team right now. And the Shadow Devil, when he's got the Demon buff, is very strong, even at 1 star. So I can throw him in there now and just have a strong team, stabilize my health pool. I am breaking one of my rules where I say to try and get to 10 gold by the end of round 8. I will not hit that point. I'm going to be a little shy, but that's okay. I'm hoping to get on a win streak pretty soon, so that's why I did that. Alright, and I did find the Divinity. I'm not going to put him in yet, and the reason is the Demon buff actually cancels out the Divinity buff. So I can't put him in while I have 1 demon on the field. What I can do is grab a second demon. And by doing that, the 2 demons cancel each other out. I no longer have the demon racial, but because I no longer have the demon racial, I now have the Divinity racial, which is stronger when you have more units on the field than having an individually strong demon would be. So that's my plan. I think I'm going for some sort of demon, mage, warlock, divinity build. And let's take a look at the field. Let's take a look at the board and do a little bit of scouting. So, Feathered Druid, very meta comp. We've got a Cave Glacier Warrior, so this guy's probably going some sort of 6 warrior direction. A Divinity Warrior, so this guy's definitely going a 6 warrior direction. There's me with the Beast. Okay, and I need this source here. So I now have my 3rd mage with the Thunder Spirit, the Shiny Dragon, and the source. As soon as I can find another demon, I do think I'm going to be able to switch and throw in my God of War and start going with the traditional mage build. Alright, back to the board. So we made it to me, which is the Beast Warlock going on here, but just looking at the synergies doesn't really tell you what I'm going, but once you look at the units here, I can see I've got a Thunder Spirit. I can see that I've got a Poisonous Worm and a Shadow Devil. So it's obvious that this person, which is me in this case, is going to be going for a Demon Divinity build. This player here, though, that's the Feather Druid we saw. We have another Druid and another Druid. So this is some sort of Feathered Druid build, it looks like. This is an Assassin's build with some warriors in. That's kind of strange. This, they have Ecursus, and they've got... Yeah, I don't know what that person's doing. Okay, so right now we're just picking up pieces towards what we want to build. We have the pair of God of Wars. As soon as we get him to 2-star, he's going to be a very powerful tank. I've got the pair of Sources, which is a critical piece for Divinity. I've got my Shiny Dragon, that gives me the 3rd Mage. And the Heaven Bomber is just a strong unit, so I've got more of him because he's actually really strong when he's 3-starred. So I don't typically go for 3 stars unless it's a unit that greatly benefits from it. And in this case, Heaven Bomber is a unit that does very well as a 3-star. And we're going to get crushed in this round. This guy has a lot of 2 stars, so that's not surprising. Okay, let's finish out the scouting. We've got a Demon Warlock here, Evil Knight, Shadow Devil, Poisonous Worm, Ripper. I don't know what he's going for. That's kind of a strange composition. And I think that's what you're going to run into a lot at these lower levels, is just strange compositions that don't really make sense. Okay, there's my second demon, so I can... I'm actually going to wait around, and on the next round, I'm going to be able to do a little bit of swapping around here, and have a stronger team out on the field. I will hit level 6, so I'll be able to throw another unit on, and I can take out the Poisonous Worm, throw in the Hell Knight, and the God of War. So I'll be a little bit stronger, but I won't be able to get all my units on the field until I'm level 7. Okay. Back to the board. We're looking for... since we're playing Divinity, the thing that's going to be strongest against us are going to be things like Hunters, things like Assassins, and any sort of Marine buff. So I'm looking for how many people have those out here. And I only see one player with Assassins, no Hunters, and no Marine buff. So we actually have a really good... we made a really good decision by going with the Divinity this game. We've been getting the pieces for it, and we don't have a lot of competition, and there aren't many builds that are strong against us. So we may not be winning every round right now, but it won't be long before we start winning more consistently. 27. I would like to hit that 30 gold here. If I win, actually I can just sell the Poisonous Worm now. Yeah, we're going to sell the Poisonous Worm to get to 30 gold so we can get that interest. We got crushed by Roadster here, but that's okay. We still have 70 HP, which is a very comfortable position to be in right now. Another thing that you can do when you're scouting, just to see how strong your team is relative to everybody else, is just to look at star counts. Ooh, I want that Soul Reaper. Or is it just me? Sorry. I'm thinking my next move is going to be when I hit level 7, which is going to be around 17. I'm actually going to get rid of the Tusk Champion, throw in the God of War, and I think I'm going to throw this Soul Reaper in. It's going to help make my team a lot stronger. So that's my current plan of action based on just what I have. But as I was saying, you can look at the board here and look at star counts. So I have 3 2-star units. This guy has 3 2-star units. This guy has 4. So generally speaking, he would be stronger than me right now. This guy has 5, 4, 5, 3, and a 3-star, and 3. So it looks like currently I have one of the weaker teams in the lobby. But the reason for that is over here, if you look at the economy. And I actually need to do this real quick. Okay. Go like this. And if you haven't seen, I really like this formation for the Wolf round. I do have 4 2-stars now, so it's not a big deal, and the formation actually doesn't matter too much. But this S formation here, where your melee units are in these 3 squares, and your ranged units are in these squares, this does do a really good job of taking a weak team and helping them clear these wolves, which can be a challenging round for some people. So if you are struggling sometimes, or you have a weak team coming into round 15, the wolf round, try this S formation that I just used here if you're level 6, and let me know how it goes. Okay, back to the board. So we can see that we are one of the weaker teams out here right now, but the reason is we're saving our money. So if you look here, this guy has, or I have 40 gold. The person in first place has 40 gold, but he's win streaked the whole game, so that gold is purely due to win streaking. Everybody else has significantly less gold than us, so we may be weaker now, but economically we're going to get a huge advantage over time, and we're eventually just going to outclass everybody else simply because we have more money than them. I am going to take that Thunder Spirit, and I'm actually thinking of... I think I'm going to lose the Tusk Champion now. And the reason I'm going to do that is I really want to try and hit another interest gold here. And I'm going to sell this Heaven Bomber if we lose this round. Because I really do want to get that maximum interest, that 5 interest by being level, or by having 50 gold. And yes, it looks like we are going to lose this round. This guy has an entire team of 2-star units, so he's definitely got a stronger lineup than us right now, but that's okay. So we're going to sell the Heaven Bomber, get up to 50 gold, and we should be in a pretty good position. We are hoping to hit the Source and the God of War soon to get them to 2 stars. Once we do that, our team is going to be in great shape. Okay, so here we are, round 17. This is when you should be pushing to level 7 if you haven't done so already. So it's going to be essential for me to do that. Even though it drops me below 50 gold, I really do need to be level 7 right now. So with that, I want the mage buff. So I'm actually going to take the Soul Reaper out for now and throw in my mages just to get that 3 mage buff. It is one of the most important parts of this build. And I'm going to start throwing my units, or my items on my units, because I haven't done that all game. I've been neglecting that. Okay, so, oh, we're actually going to win this. So this is Louise. If we look here, Louise has 3 2-stars and the rest 1-stars. Same with us. So in that case, it wasn't star count that mattered on the field. It was just the overall synergies that the comp had, and I'm picking a comp that I know has very strong synergies. We are now over 50 gold. What do we do with our extra gold? We put it into leveling. So 51 HP. We're actually, oh, someone just quit. That's really interesting. 51 HP. We are nearing the point where we might want to start rolling and looking for the pieces that we're missing. We really need another Source and another God of War. Those are critical to the Divinity build. Outside of that, we're actually in a very comfortable position. And that was a really big Pirate Captain ult. That might be enough to lose, or to make us lose this round. Yep, that Pirate Captain ult was huge. Okay, so we lost this round. That's okay, though. Only 3 units left, so we're not taking a big hit to our HP. Shadow Devil, we want to get him to 2 stars. That's going to be a very big strength increase for us on the board. We're at 46 HP. It's still safe to maintain your bank. Once you start getting down to around 25 gold or so, in my opinion, is when you want to start using your gold and trying to survive. Just stay in the game as long as you can, right? So if I were Vincent here, I would go all in. I would use all my gold and make my team as strong as I could. And it looks like he's done just that. He has no gold left in the bank, so he has put it all out on the field, and this is kind of his last stand, if you will. I am not to that point, so I'm going to keep economizing until I need to do that. And I'm going to take a huge hit here. 8. That's actually less than I thought that would be. Okay. Back to the board, and you see that level-wise, there's only one person that has leveled above us, and that's the guy that was win streaking most of the game. Ooh, Lethal Ursa. This is going to be a free round as far as it's kind of like a free win because it's a PvE round. So we know our health total is safe here. So we don't have to worry about rolling. We don't have to worry about doing anything drastic to try and stay alive. Now if we go back to the board, I see that there is one level 8. So level-wise, we're kind of keeping pace with everybody. This guy who was win streaking, he has more gold. And actually, he used all his gold, so he's all in as well. I'm the only person that still has a really strong economy, and I'm hoping that that's going to be what gets me to the win this game. And I actually was not strong enough to beat the minion round because my God of War is still a 1-star. If he was a 2-star, that would have been a very easy round for me. So I can level up here. Going to throw in the Soul Reaper to get the Warlock buff. And 34 HP. I am going to roll a little bit. I'm looking for a Source and a God of War. Shadow Double's huge, but I really need a Source and a God of War. Wow, this is pretty ridiculous. I'm going to go down to... Actually, I'm going to stop here. I didn't find them before the round started. I would have gone down to 20 gold, but I just didn't have time, so... I'm hoping that upgrading the Shiny Dragon and the Shadow Devil was enough. And it looks like in this case it was. So I kind of just half went all in there. So now my economy is not as strong as it was. Ooh, I want to hit that interest point. I'm going to sell the Thunder Spirit. My economy is not as strong as it was. And I was kind of getting a little desperate in that my health is deteriorating faster than I would like it to. So I'm looking to strengthen my team now. So that I don't lose or get... Ooh, wow, okay. Okay, here we go. That's huge. So that's a huge boost right there. Our team just got much stronger by finding that God of Thunder. We now have both divinity buffs, so even though we are a very low star count here, we have just incredibly powerful synergies. And as long as the God of Thunder gets his ability off, we should be able to win no matter who we're playing against. And just as I say that, we lose. Oh, it looks like we're barely going to win this round. So this person, if we look at star count, he's got 1, 2, 3, 2 stars, and 2 3-stars. So he actually has just much stronger units on the field. We are 2 levels above him, which means we've got 2 more units, but more importantly is we have these really strong synergies. I still need a Source and a God of War. This is actually ridiculous.
I'm a magic. You want to see my new trick?
It's normally not this difficult to get your God of War to 2 stars. Wow, I couldn't find a single one. That is absolutely insane. He's not even my best tank now, which is kind of surprising. Okay, so despite that, pretty bad luck as far as the rolls that we're getting and what champions we're finding, it looks like we're in a really comfortable position now. We're beating some of these stronger teams, and the main reason for that is we scouted. We looked at the builds that other people were using, and I did 2 things with that information. I chose a build that I didn't see other people using. That means I don't have competition for my pieces. I am the only divinity, only mage, the only warlock on the field left, which means hopefully no one's competing for most of my pieces. And in fact, if I look here, I don't think I see any of my pieces in anybody else's teams. I do not. So I actually have 0 competition for my pieces now, which is a really good position to be in. You know, if someone comes across something like a Soul Reaper, which I would love to get to 2 stars, they're not going to be buying it, whereas they're going to leave it in the pool so that I can buy it. Oh, and there we go. We lost another round pretty heavily. That's going to be a lot of damage. So it looks like we might not be winning this game, and I really do believe that it's simply because I cannot find this God of War. To find only 2 God of Wars in a game is pretty insane, if you ask me. I've never had a game where I could not 2-star my God of War. Alright, let's look at what we've got and see what the outlook of this game is. So, level-wise, we are keeping pace with everybody. Star-wise, we definitely have some of the weakest units on the field. This God of War is the weakest unit that anybody's putting on the field. Then this Soul Reaper. The Shining Assassin and the Doom here are both stronger units on their own. So star quality, we are behind. Synergy-wise, we definitely have the best synergies on the field. So that we have going for us. Outside of that, I'm trying to think of how we could win this game. And I think the path to victory is obviously trying to hit this 2-star of the God of War. So if I ever find a God of War, that's going to be huge. But I think the path to victory this game is by getting level 9 and getting another unit on the field. So if I look here, I've got 2 warlocks, I've got 4 mages, 2 demons. So I'm trying to think of what would be the best thing to add to the field here. I can't gain another synergy, so I'm thinking of units with powerful effects. Something that's going to help CC the enemy team most likely. And one of the best units for doing that is the Storm Shaman. So I think the path to victory for me this game is to get to level 9 and put Storm Shaman in. And I may end up losing this round, which would be okay. It would be a little unfortunate, but it's okay. Actually, I don't know what wins this. He has a ton of armor, but the Hell Knight does do true damage, so... No, and he's just healing too much, so this is going to be a draw, I believe. Oh no, the Warpwood Sage is actually going to win. But that's okay. We got him down to 1 unit, so it is a loss. We do take 3 damage, but it could have been much worse. There's our God of War. That makes a huge difference, honestly. So now I think we are the strongest team in the game. So now that we're in this position, things we're trying to do, we're trying to 2-star our Soul Reaper, and we're trying to hit level 9 and throw a Storm Shaman in. There's nothing at this point that we can do scouting-wise to influence our decisions. We're to the point where whatever build you've chosen is the build you've got. You can't go back and change it at this point. It's too late to pick a different build to use. Wow, that God of Thunder did so much damage. That's pretty crazy. And he's in a great spot to do even more. Okay, so that's Roadster. We just handled him on his screen and our screen. We won by 5, which is really nice. 32 gold. That means we could push the button 6 times. That would be 24 experience. 24 plus 7 is 31. Not quite enough. So we cannot hit level 9 just yet. We'd have to wait 1 more round to hit level 9. Best case scenario for us, next round starts and there's a Storm Shaman in the shop. We can buy the Storm Shaman, push up to level 9 and throw the Storm Shaman on. That's going to be the final form of this team. And this is the one that I'm curious of. He's got the highest star count in the game, but I mean, just from looking at his team, it just looks like a weak composition. And yeah, we just smashed this guy. For Glacier. Glacier's kind of a sub-synergy. I don't know if you watch Claytano and Scoundrel's synergy tier list, but they classified Glacier as a sub-synergy, meaning it's not what you really build your team around. You build your team around other things, like Six Warriors or like Divinity, and you add Glacier to add a secondary or even tertiary synergy. For my team, the team is called, it's a divinity comp, and the main focus is having this 2 out of 2 divinity. This 2 warlock buff is a sub synergy. It helps, it makes my comp stronger, but it's not the point. The 3 mage is critical to this build, though. I would call 3 mage a synergy in its own right. It is very important to this build, and we just got crushed by this assassin player. I don't think that's 19 damage. Okay, so this not gay player just defeated us, and that player on their screen defeated us as well. So what can we do here? Who is that on? Definitely don't want to do that, so I'm actually going to put that there. I'm going to go like this. So we just lost a round. Oh, it's Thunderhide. I should have noticed that this is a PvE round and saved that gold. I am going to stop here so I don't lose all my interest, but I just cost myself 1 interest by not having the awareness to know that this is a PvE round. So both of these players beat us the last time they fought us, so it looks like we could be in for a 3rd place here. That's okay. I mean, top 3 is kind of the goal when you're playing these games. Top 3 and you'll climb, but I was really hoping to go undefeated through at least till I hit Bishop, and we are not even Knight yet, so that's a little sad. Who do I want to have this? Probably the Shadow Devil. Okay. So, my plan currently to hit level 9 right now, throw in a unit that I think is going to help me win the game. Devastator could be nice. I'm going to grab him and roll and look for a Storm Shaman. If I find a Storm Shaman, I'd rather have that. But the Devastator is a nice piece. Okay, so Storm Shaman's going in, Devastator's getting sold. I'm going to buy this Storm Shaman. Now I've got 2 of each of these, so if I survive this round, I can hopefully 2-star either the Soul Reaper or the Storm Shaman next round. Alright, and I need the God of Thunder to cast. There he goes. Too little, too late. So we're going to end in 3rd place. A little unfortunate. Some really bad luck as far as our pieces that we got. We weren't getting the 2-star units that we needed. So this was an instance of I chose a build that I thought would be strong this game, and in this case that was Divinity. I did that because I saw nobody else going for Divinity Mage, and I didn't think I saw a comp in there that was going to be strong against us. However, I made that decision and started forcing the build, meaning that I wasn't letting the pieces that were showing up dictate what I got. Because of that, I ended up going for a build and not having the pieces to support it. I did end up finally finding the 2-star Source and God of War, but it was so late, I had lost so much HP by that point that I was not able to sustain my economy. I had to use my economy to try and survive, and because of that I petered out at the end. I was unable to complete my build because I had to use my money earlier than I would have liked to. So we used scouting to help influence our decisions. Wow, my gold value was only 52. That's insane. If we look here, we still won economically, but if you look at these players here, so this guy had 193 gold that he had made this game, and more than half of that was on the field, and that's normally because of things like these druids. So if you don't know, druids tend to inflate your army value and not really represent the strength of your team. If you look down here, the second most expensive army this game is actually this player, Vincent II, who went out second to last, and it's because he's got these druids that his team looks very impressive on the score screen and it has this high value, but things like a 3-star unicorn just aren't that strong. So this player had some very strong druids on the field, or 3-star druids on the field, that inflated his army value. But he did have the, looks like he's got some sort of 6-feathered build going on, I think. And then this is the guy with the Glacier Warriors. So if I go and look, I imagine he finally found 6 warriors, and that's why he started winning. No, he still has 3 warriors, so, and 3 feathered. I miscounted, so We ended up losing because of trying to force a build that we probably should not have. It was an intelligent decision from a scouting standpoint. It was going to be a good build this game if the pieces came. Unfortunately, the pieces did not show up for us on time, and it's for that reason that we ended up getting third place and not winning the game. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your guys' following and support. Please give me ideas for the topics that you'd like me to cover in future videos as I continue this series, Pawn to King. I think we just hit Pawn 9, so one game away from Knight. I'll probably upload the next game when we do hit Knight. So that's about it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.